continuing on now. For complicated reasons that I don't want to get into, well, not that complicated really, but the first video of this got posted to a different account. I'm going to download it, upload it to this account, and that's all going to get settled. Of course, it has to process first, so moving right along. This radiotherapy unit, this radiotherapy institution is moving places. For whatever reason, the town of Goiânia, my dog's in here now, is not letting them move. I can't read Portuguese, so I haven't been able to figure out why that was. The owners of this clinic were not too happy about that. They knew that this was dangerous, and they didn't want to leave it there. But for whatever reason, the city was just being bureaucrats and wasn't letting them move it. So the court said, well, we understand that this is hazardous, so we're going to post a security guard there. That's going to work well. The president of the institution called it a cesium time bomb. The owners wrote several letters to the National Commission for Nuclear Energy, warning them about the dangers of keeping a telepathy unit at an abandoned site, but they could not remove the equipment by themselves once a court order prevented them from doing so. On September 13th, 1987, the security guards skipped work. By happenstance, that same day, 2 thieves came to steal that telepathy unit. They're scavengers, and they're looking for scrap metal to bring to a junkyard where they'll then sell it. Break it down and sell it. They entered the facility and found the telepathy unit, and they took it home. They started to dismantle it. Skipping to my next page of notes. Please pause. They were then being exposed to incredible doses of radiation. And I'm sorry, give me a minute. This radioactive device, well, first of all, radiation is measured in these units called grays. So when you're protected by the lead, you're not getting any doses of radiation from this machine. A smoke detector gives off about, it's also measured in these units that are abbreviated TBQ, that I don't remember what they're called, but anyway, a smoke detector, and you want to understand it, so gives off 0.00037 of this radiation. The radiation that this was giving off in 1971, when the clinic bought the radiation machine, 74. In 1987, it was 50.9. So these people were getting a dose of about 4 grays. And this sheet didn't print very well. Please hold on a moment. I know, this video sucks, just bear with me. We're gonna pick right up. Alright, here we go. Back on track. So, the radiation dose for non-nuclear workers in the US, which is accepted by national units for regulating this kind of thing, is between 0.001 to 0.005 gray. The workers who started to break open this machine were receiving 4.65 gray. This is how much the source was giving off once they pried off the ceiling. They start trying to pry it open. It takes them a while. They bring it home to their houses. The cesium capsule is about the size of a pool ball, a billiard ball. And they take it out of this rotating head that's over top of it. And that same day, they both started to vomit. When you are exposed to a high dose of radiation, you can kind of basically judge what your chances of living are based on how soon you start to vomit. So say you get a dose of 10 gray. You are going to start to vomit immediately. And you're going to be dead within 48 hours, around there. They start vomiting on the same, if you get like just a minor blast, I don't know how you would receive a minor blast, but assuming you did, say you start vomiting a few days later, you're going to be okay. You might feel crappy for a little bit, but you're going to be okay. They both start vomiting the same day. One of them actually, they chalk it up to food poisoning because, what else would they chalk it up to? One of them actually, still sick, 2 weeks later, went to his doctor who told him that it was food poisoning. And just hang in there, you'll get over it. Good call, right? Good call. They managed to get this open. When they pry it open, they find the cesium inside. And one of them was storing this in the garage at his house. It's nighttime, he's locking up, and he noticed something glowing in the garage. And he's like, what the hell? I don't have anything that's emitting light in there. So he goes in to check. The cesium was so radioactive that it was emitting this beautiful blue glow. Cesium is kind of a chalky substance, so it's a bit of a powder, kind of solid, but very powdery. Well, they figured this must be very valuable if it's glowing like this. They think they've scored it rich. They sell it to the junkyard owner, Dever Alves Ferreira. Oh, excuse me, it's actually him who finds this glowing glow. So he takes this home to his house, and then it gets really bad. The reason that the stuff is glowing is called Cherenkov radiation. This actually happens when a radioactive material comes into contact with moisture, with water. Somehow this must have happened over the course of time that this machine was left there, abandoned. Ferreira thinks that this is a marvelous thing. They think it's holy, they think it's a stroke of luck. They really want to share it with everyone. He thinks that he's going to make a ring for his wife out of this gorgeous blue glowing stuff. So he takes it home and he invites over all his friends and family, and he's showing them this radioactive cesium. He spreads it out on his kitchen table. People are playing with it, and they're putting it on their faces, on their bodies. They're playing around. They're dancing in the dark, holding little radioactive rays. Ferreira's uncle, Ivo, he was his brother, uncle of Ivo, scrapes this dust out and brings it home to his family, because he thinks his children will really like it. Have some fun playing with it. He has a 6-year-old daughter, Laid das Neves Freya. I really need to stop pronouncing these names. I know. Who plays in it and, spreads it over her body and goes shows her mom how much fun she's having. He spread it out on the floor, and later she eats a meal on the floor. So she ingests this radioactive stuff. Radiation gives you burns to your body, as well as, mutating your DNA, your cells. So she ingests it, which is the worst way you can contact radiation poisoning. So it ends up like burning her stomach and stuff. And she's 6 years old. I know. Now, Gabriella was Faria's wife. And she starts to notice that all these people around her are getting sick. She thinks this is pretty weird. And she wants to know what it is. They're thinking it's some kind of virus going around. And but Gabriella pieces it together, and she figures out that all these people have been getting sick since they brought home this glowing blue stuff. And these people are seriously ill. They're going in the hospital. They have skin lesions. The 2 workers who removed the casing from the radioactive cesium are among the fatalities. In total, 4 people die from this. The 6-year-old niece is one of them. They're the first 2 who took this out of the shielding. One of them has more of a stomach thing going on. The other one is having these skin lesions, radiation burns. Like I said, it burns your skin. This is actually in the shape of the source capsule. It had that little hole where the radiation was coming out, and he gets a burn like that on his hand. The hospital, the doctors think that it's some kind of exotic disease and transfer him to the tropical diseases hospital. So, this is causing, among their friends, vomiting and diarrhea, nausea. And Gabriella thinks that this glowing blue stuff is responsible for it. On the 28th, 10 days after the source was sold to her husband, she and one of the employees go to take it to the hospital, show it to the doctors, figure out what's going on. They take this in a plastic bag to the hospital. And when they go to the hospital, they take the bus. So say there's about 20 people on the bus. They're all receiving a dose of this radiation. And sitting on her feet. And it's spreading. It's shining out these poisonous, deadly rays to everybody else on the bus. Later, scientists calculate and they figure out that the dose of radiation was not strong enough to cause any extremely detrimental effects. But still, we don't know that much about radiation. We're not entirely certain of all the effects it can have on the human body. The employee that she takes this with, who carries the source on his back, later receives a burn on his shoulder from where he was carrying